Ken Roczen, is he going to win another championship here in America? That is the number one question that is going through my mind after everything he has done this year. But watch him on the Glen Helen downhill there in France at the Motocross of Nations. Watch what he turns a triple into. He turns it into like a double-double, but he jumps over the majority of the bumps. Exquisitely executed. We'll slow it down here. Lands, you can see him preload. He's preloading with his body. He's not a seat bounce. It's just a preload. He's pushing down, and then he's leaning back. You can see that front wheel is already off the ground, and he's just gonna jump all the way down. Can't tell if he even brake tapped to go down. It doesn't look like it, but he gets over all these major gnarly bumps. We'll watch it one more time in real time. I need to spend more time watching the European riders ride because they're moving the sport forward when it comes to motocross as well. They're literally on par with guys like Jet Lawrence. We've got Roman Febvre and Prado here, but this is after the giant quad. And watch Febvre as he's going around this inside. He's going to stand up, then he's going to lift his leg off to not hit the inside corner dirt that they've got built up so no rider gets close to these hay bales. Here, I'll back it up again and see if you can see it. Just no brakes, and then he sits down. Just nice. Gonna let the foot peg fold, but my foot's just gonna go right over it. Then sit down, accelerate. A lot of these guys keep standing up more and more. That's one of the biggest things I've noticed about the evolution of this sport from the Bubba Scrub is a lot of guys are riding more on their toes and they're standing up a lot more. Watch Everts, Stefan's little boy, Liam, as he's standing up at the top of the hill here on this really hard pack rut where a lot of riders were sitting down. He's going just as fast as the guys that sit down throughout the entire corner. And this is why I am believing that a lot of these guys, if they wanted to move to off-road, they could literally win championships. I know there hasn't been a whole lot of guys that have made that transition because you go from the top of the sport to now sort of the middle ground because off-road, I guess, isn't front and centered when it comes to media, but a lot of people are following off-road desert racing, GNCC's, works races because of the type of rider that you need to have doing it. And a lot of these guys can finish inside the top 10, but because of what I'm seeing in motocross these days, I believe these riders would be able to make that transition and now start winning championships right off the bat. It'd just be a fitness thing as far as going a little bit slower for a longer distance rather than just pegged for 30 minutes. Moto 1, Prado gets the whole shot out front and relatively the second corner, he's standing up over the whole thing. He was one of the only riders I saw do that around this off-cambered corner. And he made it look fast and smooth. He continued to use that line throughout the whole moto. You know, just because racing is almost over with doesn't mean shopping has to. Christmas is just around the corner, so why not save yourself some time and go to puremoto.com, search for the items that you or your kids want, use their online indexing system where they can search Alpine Star and big major websites along with local retailers that are closest to you. So you don't have to do all the dirty work. They can do it literally for you and find the items in stock closest to you so you're able to spend less time shopping and more time doing what the heck you want to do. Make sure you're shopping at puremoto.com. Up next, we have the Larocco's Leap of France. These guys had to be third gear tapped, maybe fourth gear, preload everything they could, and most of the 450s works bikes were still not able to do it. Watch Prado here as he's going towards the dragon back. He's going to wheelie over the first one. Boom. And Febvre tries to get over it, doesn't quite throughout the moto. But Prado's able to wheelie all the way over that, get that over there, and watch them as they lean back to preload with everything they got. Prado's not doing it because he's not going for the quad, but look at Roman. Look at his body positioning. He's given everything he can to get the height, and they both case it. Roman tries to go for the whole thing and cases it. But then if we watch some other riders, I like Renaux. Renaux really impressed me. This is Ferrandis and then Renaux here. And watch, this is after the dragon back here. And these guys are basically tripling down. And look, Renaux is lifting his front wheel to try to stay lower. And I'll show this in real time as well. But look, he's leaning back. Ferrandis gets a little sideways here. And so last minute decision by Renaux. He jumps off the track, but look at how much higher he is. The sheer bike control is just amazing here. We'll watch that in real time so you guys can see this. They are giving everything they can to those 450s. Here's another lap, and this is when Renaux made the pass. Look at, he's scrubbing it this time as opposed to trying to wheelie over. And look at the wheelie all the way into the face. Lean back. Boom. Looks over. Saying I'm going to be on the inside of you this time so I don't jump off the track. Wow. Super impressive. How fast he went towards that lip. Scrub. Lean back. This is an Axel Hodges deal, except for you're wide effing open towards a giant quad. I mean, Axel does giant quads, but this is with a bunch of ruts in the face of it. After the off camber, we got Renaux hopping out of a rut, but doing it exquisitely. Just wheelies out of it. Here, I'll slow it down again. Boom, boom, boom. This track was very choppy. See, his front wheel is getting out of it just briefly, and he sucks that sucker back in because he's doing a perfect turn left to go right type of a deal as far as backing that back end around, drifting, gets back in it, and he's like, I don't like this rut, so he's just going to use the suspension, wheelie just a bit, hop over it, find a smoother line, because it was so slippery, and with how hard packed this stuff was, when they watered it, it just made it dangerous. So these guys had to have traction control with their wrist. I'm sure the ECUs probably had it as well, but just the level of control that these riders had, that what was fun to watch there in France, was this track looked scary. It didn't look incredibly rough like you normally would see, but just because of how hard pack and slippery it was and how fast these guys were still going. Before I get to the last two corners that gave me goosebumps, ASMR, when it comes to Motocross of Nations, you know the drill. Hit that subscribe button and notification icon so that you can see these videos every week. I am a huge Renaux fan. Now, after this race, watch as he brake slides around this corner. These guys would make exceptional supercross riders because of just the bike control that they have. Yeah, they would need to know how to slow down a little bit to pick some lines as opposed to just being wide open. But I'm digressing. Watch what he's doing here. Slide, get back on the gas, falls off the bike, jumps, leans back, holds it together. Just, how did he not crash going fast? Going into this, sliding around, do you notice where his ass crack is? He is weighting the outside peg. He's got that bike leaned over. He's got the elbow up. Ass crack is on the side of that seat. He's going to slip the clutch, start accelerating. Boom, hits the wall, leans back all the way over the other side, keeps his balance, slingshots out, and then as he's almost normally would crash, he's going to lean the opposite direction to counterbalance that bike. Just crazy how he did that. And then one of the next laps after Ferrandis went down, watch as he just wheelies and then jumps off of these hard-packed curbs, and then lands. Just amazingly done. I am such a huge fan of this dude now. He is my pick to win the 2024 MXGP. And to not be outdone, you've got the reigning champ, newly crowned MXGP Prado. And watch what he does before the downhill. Just beautifully supercross turn before he jumps down. Here, I'll slow it down. He's braking. He's hard on both brakes. He's going to lean his body over, right? Going to do the same thing that Renaux did. Get that body over, weight the outside peg, scoot those hips to that left side, have that ass crack be on that seam of the seat, not in the middle, but you're now in the seam. It's got a nice little pocket for you to go there. Just feels good because, you know, once you get that ass crack, it's just like a little slit there, helps you out, holds you in. Then drops the clutch, gets on the gas, nice brake slide. I do have a tutorial on my channel from freaking 5 years ago if you guys want to watch it. These guys are doing it out front in the biggest race of motocross of nations. Well done. And I want to thank everybody that's made it this far. Until next time, keep it WFO. Brop.